Hey guys, welcome back to the JPM Performance channel. Once again, time for our shop tour, and it is our, believe it or not, last shop tour in June. Here we are, June 26th. So this marks the end of the first 6 months of 2025. Somehow we are halfway through the year. We are fully into summer here in Topeka. It's hot, it's humid. Here we go. 4th of July next Friday, so we're getting really close. So shop tour time. Gosh, sometimes I wish you guys could be here every day because I get stuff done and then you never get to see it. You know, once again, the bench is kind of cleared off because I got a couple different differentials done over the last week. But they're completed and shipped back to the customer. So I've actually just got some Honda stuff sitting here. We're going to talk about a lot of Honda stuff today. So change up from some of the Mazda stuff that we normally talk about. This is just a crankshaft and some cams getting ready to go into the solvent tank for cleaning. But what I wanted to show you guys today, and something I've learned, and a lot of the Honda guys, don't get me wrong, it's not like I've been doing Hondas for 20 years, 30 years like some of you guys that watch these. But for some of you that haven't seen some of this stuff, when I figure something out that I really like versus dislike, I like to share it. So what we have here is a Fel-Pro, there's the part number. This is a oil pan gasket for B series oil pans. You can see this Fel-Pro has a metal, I'll actually pull it out of here. It's got a metal reinforced lip that just makes this gasket really strong. And the reason that you need a really strong gasket in one of these is because Honda oil pans have these little titties that stick out that go right into these two holes here, but between every bolt hole. And if you don't have a reinforced gasket, it tends to push out. So, and I got with Moroso, and actually think I got this from just MAP Performance, and they said how their gasket was a reinforced gasket. Do you think this is a reinforced gasket? No. So if you use a gasket like this that's all floppy, what'll happen is this will just push out in between and you will literally have an oil leak on your oil pan gasket. I'm trying to get a refund on this. Otherwise, I would throw it in the trash right in front of you because this is garbage. Get the Fel-Pro gasket. These things are bad to the bone. You can actually reuse them too. I'm not really big into reusing gaskets, but these things are really cool. So, tip of the day for your Honda B Series oil pan. Get the good one. So what I've actually been working on over the last few days is Ken Kennard's engines. So we have two engines that we're working on. This is our new block that's getting ready to go out to get bored out for new pistons. But I'm actually sending our last block out for line honing. And what I wanted to show you guys today is, and I talk about this all the time, how to pack things up properly. So what we've got here is we've got an engine block that I'm going to use in this heavy duty box, and you can buy this foam from a number of different places, and you just have to use you can use a Sawzall, you can use a jigsaw, but what you want to do is you want to cut so that this block is sitting down inside here with big pieces of foam all the way around it. And by the time I get this all secured in here, I'll be able to put my top on and get this thing shipped super safe. So this is how you pack a block properly that you can actually ship through UPS. Fortunately, these Honda blocks are all aluminum, so they don't weigh a ton. But still, I mean, it's going to be, you know, a 70-pound box, and believe me, the UPS guys are just shoving and throwing, and you know, they're trying to move stuff along. So that's how you pack a block properly. So that one's going out for line honing. You can see I've got his cylinder head here. I'm getting ready to disassemble on the bench here. So what that means is we've got a lot done on Ken's car over the last week. So I actually have, this is a freshly rebuilt transmission for him that we keep as a spare all the time. So that one's ready to go. The other one went out to the rebuilder down in Florida because I don't build Honda transmissions. And so engine's out, transmission's out, just kind of going through everything. Next tip of the day, when you're pulling your engine out and you know it's going to be sitting for a while, get yourself some good plugs and plug up your lines so you don't get dirt and dust. I don't care if they're these plastic ones or if you actually buy these really good aluminum ones, but keep the dirt and dust out of all of your lines. So like here's our line coming from the AccuSump, that's plugged up. These are our two main oil lines. You should do the same thing with your fuel lines and all of that. So tip of the day. I did shuffle around the, we'll call this the Rocketeer car. So got the top down, actually looking for a top. I need to get these seat covers off. And so talking to the customer, so we got everything ordered. Obviously our kit is coming, right? But we want to get, he wants a new steering wheel. He does like the shift knob, but he wants a new steering wheel. So I've got that ordered, an adapter. And we're also going to put some new wheels and tires on here to kind of give it a little sportier look. Not only that, but with the increase in horsepower, we're going to want a little more traction. So that'll be a really good thing. So waiting on some parts and pieces for this, obviously the kit as well. So timeline wise, just so you guys know, when it comes to ordering one of these Rocketeer kits, between them building the engine, packing the kit up, shipping it on the boat, coming in through customs, and then freight shipped to me, you have to plan on about 10 weeks from the time you put your money down to the time that we get everything in our hands. So we've got some time to wait here. The blue car I actually put in my race trailer for the summer to get it out of the shop, just because we're waiting on whether or not the car is going to go to the UK or to Hawaii, or whether or not it's going to be my demo car. But either way, I'm still waiting 10 weeks on that. And that car doesn't really need what this car needs as far as, you know, the upgrades. So we're going to leave this car in here. You guys will be able to see the transformation as we go through it and work on some of that as well. Okay, next thing I want to show you, we got Dave Ryder's 626 back in. So Dave went out to Pueblo, it's probably been 2 or 3 weeks now, I suppose. And on Sunday he had a brake problem. He was having brake fade. So I'm actually, the rotors are bad. We're going to re-bleed everything and see if we can get our brake pedal back and all that. But what I wanted to show you guys is this. And this is why I'm not a big fan of drilled rotors. And actually, Mike Pushkar from Carbotech will tell you, you don't want drilled rotors or slotted rotors, because all that's doing is scraping off your brake pad every time that thing comes by. There are varying opinions on this, depending on the size of brakes that you're running. Probably there are applications where a drilled and cross-drilled and slotted rotor works very well. These are cross-drilled and slotted, and take a look here. What we've got is a brake rotor that is completely broken. You can see it's broken all the way through the drill hole and all the way up into the top side of the rotor. And it obviously started right at that drill hole. So how does that happen? Well, when you have a hole, you have a stress riser which will enable a crack to start. That's just the way it's going to be. Now, while they can dissipate heat better than, say, a solid rotor, you need to stay on top of them very diligently. So expecting to see rotors and bearings for Dave's car today. I'm going to try and whip that out so he can come pick the car up this weekend, because he is going to High Plains next weekend for their 4th of July race out there with the Colorado region. So I'm going to try and get this done for him. Got another couple little things to do, but shouldn't be too bad. Okay, Mazda 2 time update. Always working, always working. So you saw that I had the engine and transmission out last week sitting on the floor. What I've got now is the engine sitting over here, all sealed up. I'm going to be stealing a few external bits and pieces off of this engine, but you see I've got my gaffer's tape on the intake ports. So like I said, this engine only has last year's runoffs and this season on it. So that's only 4 weekends. It's more like 6, 7 races, but still in really good shape. But I've got that off, and the transmission is over here. So I have my one transmission ready to go. It's sitting down here waiting for the new engine. And then the second transmission is up on the bench here. So I've just started disassembling. I was having a little trouble with fourth gear on the downshift, not the upshift, but the downshift from fifth to fourth. So I've got myself a little diagnosis to do while I'm still waiting on valves for the engine. And so chipping away, right? Always. You can see I also have the rear Lexan out of the back of the hatch here. Kind of have this all cleaned up. And we're going to get that wrapped around the edge. I have it sitting right here. So you saw that I had marked where the inside of the window is. So now we can wrap all of this out here and clean it up. That is more of a aesthetic addition than anything else. But yeah, so it's still June and we are looking good. So this is the way I like to spend my summer, chipping away on Runoffs programs. Actually have, goodness, another 3 engines that'll be here in the next 2 days. So I'm going to be moving on to, I try and do these engines as they come in, guys, but I'm going to be moving on to the ND motors next. Once I get Ken's stuff under control and everything ordered, I need to move on to these ND motors. And once I have them apart, we will go on to Tyler's BMW engine. I'm kind of letting engines that I know are not going to be going to the Runoffs sit, and that would include Cliff's over here. I've got Wade McBride's, and I also have Mark McAllister's sitting over here too. So trying to keep all this stuff straight sometimes is a little tricky, but that's why you have to stay organized when you're an engine builder. So that's kind of the basis on where we're at. I actually got word a couple of days ago that the Camaro should be back in July, like no question, back in July. We'll see about that. So appreciate you guys watching as always. We're gonna have a new video coming up in the next week or two that you're not going to want to miss. That includes something in the shop that'll be up on the channel, so make sure you look out for that too. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Have a great rest of your week. Talk to you soon. Keep working on your car.